The government announced more than 200 megawatt auctions for hydro, for wind and for solar. Let us talk about solar. Solar first step of auctions is 70 megawatt. So 70 megawatt, there will be announced some prices, there will be price offers which will be accepted or not accepted, and development process will be started. So here banks as well, they pay a lot of attention, and we see in Georgia activities of EBRD, European Bank of Reconstruction and Development. We see Asian Development Bank activities in Georgia. We see international institutional investor activities and curiosities about Georgia, because and we should understand why Georgia is very attractive for solar and energy industries. I always as well mention Black Sea Line project, right? What is Black Sea Line? We see some tensions in the region, right? Tensions of our neighbors, and we see that what is needed for the European Union now is energy security. So there are several options. Okay, one is they are investing a lot in research and development. It is a part, it's one activity. Another is that they need really flexible and active steps somehow to secure their energy security and independence. That's why, and in this purpose, it means that through Georgia there will be Black Sea cable which will connect South Caucasia to the European Union grid. And this is in fact great opportunity for Armenia as well, right? Because we have interconnection with Armenia, and there is huge demand for the energy in European Union, and the next step will be Trans-Caspian cable project. So it means that, guys, our region is in the center of European energy security. It means that we should really think about first, okay, auctions, wind, solar, and to create the environment. Sorry for adding, and to continue, 70 megawatt. Another step there will be 70 megawatt in May. It will be the second step of these solar auctions. We see their activities, and we're very curious how developers will perform and what will be the price offered. As we consider, and as the sector in Georgia considers that there will be average price of 6-7 cents offered via these auctions. However, practice shows that once free market opens, it means always active increase of prices by 20 or 30%. So we as ዄМ ԷՆԵՐՋΙ, we are actively planning as well to go to co-development and development for the second step of Georgian solar auctions. We're actively discussing the topics with international partners and local authorities. So yes, Mr. Jabba, it is great opportunity, and we can say it is the best and optimal option for Georgia to offer something for the sector. So let us see, let us observe, let us continue to work. This is the commodity which is very warmly welcomed to be recycled and then taken by manufacturers of storage systems or manufacturers of electrical vehicles, etc. So in fact we see that today, in parallel with the technology development, on one side we have panel development, inverter, storage systems. Here we see that also there is recycling industry development. So in Europe already today there is a huge secondary equipment market. For as an example, you can take the panel and sell it to Germany, and there is a demand for it, or at least it can be recycled. Then when it is recycled, these materials will be brought to the facilities, for example, for solar panels. They take this silicon and they start this chemical process of solar cell manufacturing. Do we have it in Europe? Not actively. Now China is the leader of the industry. Is Europe going to localize all these processes? Yes. We see that Europe makes active steps for localization, for full cycle production. It means that one day, after 10 years as an example, we will have nearby, in Middle East, in Eastern Europe, we will have already productions, full cycle production of solar panels, which may as well use recycled materials. So for that, I think there are no worries, and I think the sector really thinks about it, and we can just easily check it, what are the activities, and every year in Intersolar exhibition in Germany, in snack exhibition in China, we see that they are performing great, and the recycling ratio is always increasing every year. So the dynamics is really positive. Thank you. Actually, hi everyone. First of all, I'm very happy to see you, all of you here. Thanks for Huawei for creating great technologies, and thank you for Tomit for delivering these technologies. And I'm very happy to be in Armenia every time. We have expanded our business to Georgia, and we're talking about ՕՀՄ ԷՆԵՐޖİ, right? And here we see that some job was already done in our region, and we can really say that Armenia is the regional leader of absorbing sunlight, you know, and a huge road was passed, in fact. And here, step by step, we see that in neighboring countries, and Georgia is neighbor of Armenia, we also started some steps in solar. Solar in Armenia started in 2000, like active steps, I mean net metering. The period was the same, it started in 2016. Here in Armenia we see that entire environment coming from financial sector also, it really makes sense. It helps businesses, and here we see that businesses and residentials, they can really afford solar. It is very understandable, it is tested, banks, they do understand, leasing, they do understand, everybody understands here, right? Here in Armenia, we had PPAs, power purchase agreements. It was really great to boost the sector, to boost the industry, for industry to have really experienced professionals, and the same is now done by Georgia. I would like to remind dear guests that Georgia is DCFTA country, it is Euro associate country, and Georgia has some obligations with the European Union, right? So the very first step was net metering. From the very beginning in Georgia, as an example, net metering was 100 kilowatt, then they increased it up to 500 kilowatt, and here very soon in Georgia we'll see spot market, like free market, right? It means that in Georgia we have several formats of solar activities. One format of solar activity is net metering. Okay, it is understandable, there are several topics to be not corrected, but maybe improved. However, it works, we see it. The second format is memorandum with the government of Georgia for the developers to have access to free market and to offer their price for energy market. And the third option is CFD, contract for differences, which is kind of, we can say, which is kind of some alternative to power purchase agreement, because Georgia is not giving any power purchase agreements as of now. So the most optimal way to offer international investors and local, no matter, is CFD contract. CFD means that once you offer the price, and once the price is fixed and accepted, every difference of this price on lower or upper, it will be fulfilled by the government. If the trading price on free market is higher than a fixed price, it means the difference should be paid from the operator of the solar station to the government, and vice versa. Here the only thing is that in Georgia we need a more experience of Armenian financial sector, because in Georgia as of now, banks unfortunately do not understand that energy is one of things which is never enough, right? So starting from obtaining the loans from the banks in Georgia, it is unfortunately today very much linked to collaterals, right? So it is not very flexible in Georgia now to work with net metering. However, some positive steps are there. As for the ՕՀΜ ԷՆԵՐޖİ activities in Georgia, we have split it. We have several directions. One direction is commercial and industrial activities, which means our activities in net metering format. And another activities, this is co-development and construction for large-scale projects. And today we are in active discussion for up to 60 megawatt of projects, where the ዄМ ԷՆԵՐޖİ most probably will be shortlisted. as a contractor, and as well we are creating the environment in Georgia. And what is the main thing, and I'm always underlining with my colleagues, with my friends, as I see you today and on TV programs, is that social dialogue is needed. And Mr. Jabba, sorry for this lyrical ending, but social dialogue is needed, right? On one side we have the government, and on the other side we have business, and here we have society. However, the entire interest, like common interest of all these parties, is to understand where our countries are. Not about solar industry, not about hydro or whatever, but where the countries are and what is needed to do for that, right? We see that technologies are developing really rapidly. And I remember the period when I entered solar industry, what was the price for kilowatt and what price for kilowatt do we have today? About storage systems, and thank you Huawei for great presentations. It was really fantastic because we see that step by step the future is maximum autonomization of businesses. It means that energy will not be the commodity to make some impact, whether political, economical. So it means that we all together are not going only to make some networking here, but we really need to share experience with each other. We have to work all together, business sector and the government, to deliver proper messages to the society. So first of all, there is demand for these sectors from the society, right? So I think we have here great steps. I really congratulate Armenia that, considering all the obstacles, Armenia is performing fantastically. And in Georgia, we will do the same job, and we will need more and more experience from our neighbors, and we're continuing. Thank you once more, and I will be always happy to see you here in Armenia, to see you always in Georgia and Tbilisi, warmly to welcome, to discuss all the opportunities, because our approach as a company is that we always want to gain new friends, to exchange experience, to do business, just to discuss. So thank you once more, and thank you to Armenia. Merci, Hayastan. So, thank you once more.
Thank you.